So many times when we're struggling, when we're suffering, we have a question. Does God care? Does God understand? And I want you to know today, God certainly understands your suffering. Jesus knows your pain. Think about it. If any ever time in history when a good person suffered a bad thing, it was Jesus Christ. Imagine this. The people that he had healed, the people that he had fed, cried out, "Crucify him, crucify him." The last hours of his life, so many things were happening, and his friends abandoned him. In fact, one of his friends denied him 3 times, and another betrayed him to be murdered. Think about injustice. Can you imagine? The witnesses against him lied about it. They had illegal trials to convict him. And the Roman governor even said, "This man is innocent. I find no fault with him." Yet he condemned Jesus to death. Think about the physical agony Jesus experienced. He was beaten. He was whipped, horribly whipped, 39 times, the skin taken off his back. And then he was crucified, the most horrible form of execution the Romans could come up with, the most painful way that anyone could be killed. So he experienced the greatest of emotional agony, of injustice, of physical pain. And then there was the spiritual opposition. I imagine every demon from hell, the devil himself was right there in Jesus' face as he was hanging on the cross. But what made that worse is the spiritual pain Jesus suffered. Can you imagine being perfect and sinless throughout all eternity and yet having the sins of not only me and you, but of everyone throughout history dumped upon him? That would have been horrible. But to make it worse, God the Father, in order to save us, allowed God the Son to experience our hell, our punishment, our pain, our separation. He died for us. And so the Father had to turn his back on the Son, and the Son was separated from fellowship with the Father for the first time in eternity. Can you imagine the loneliness, the desperation Jesus felt? No wonder he cried out on the cross, my God, you have separated yourself from me." Does God understand pain? Does Jesus understand what you're going through? Absolutely. If there was ever a case of a good man going through a bad thing, it was Jesus himself, the best man who ever lived, God's Son, experiencing the worst pain so that you and I could experience a relationship with God forever. God understands. Take your pain to him and thank him for what Jesus did so that you can have a relationship with God and one day be in a place with no pain, no sorrow, no suffering, so that you and I can experience eternal life.